Wow, what a start to the month for Starfield, perhaps the game that needed to be showcased that Xbox and Bethesda can pull off some good games. My early impressions are very positive, but perhaps not leading into Game of the Year quite yet. A game has to be presentable, fast, filled with content. Well, at the least in the beginning of the game, because if a game can't captivate you in the first hour, you might as well just go ahead and refund. Don't forget, Starfield is either $70 or $100 if you buy into the premium version. Starfield starts off slow. It introduces a galactic-wide scale of the game, but unfortunately they took the first hour of the game to really make you doubt the game. They did not impress right off the bat. The game really starts to kick in after the first couple of hours, but no one would really blame you for quitting. Years in development and they couldn't even create a captivating beginning. But wait, hold on, okay. As much as the front of the game is important, the actual content is important, and it does actually become strong later on, and that's what's so sad about it. It's such a strong game, but it starts off so weak. The game features full-on space battles that feel pretty damn fun. Fully customizable ships. You can board enemy ships, kill everybody on board, and even steal the ship yourself. You get scanned when you reach a major faction-controlled airspace for contraband. There's a ton of detail that went into this game. You can even trade, talk, and have random encounters with enemy ships. The footage in the background is me raiding the first space station I saw in the game. When you call into the station, there's static. Nothing. Leaving you wondering what could be going on. You aren't told a damn thing. You board the station and immediately low gravity is enabled. This is probably the first time you get introduced into low gravity combat in Starfield. At first not, well, this feels bad, but it quickly changed with the addition of the jetpack. It felt pretty fun to maneuver around the space station dealing with very little cover and everyone floating around. Gunplay still feels a bit stinky, but you know what, it's been getting better the more I play the game, with most things in this game actually. And I will say, the jetpack feels like a game changer. If the jetpack didn't exist, this game would feel awful. It is absolutely necessary for movement. It really feels fun. Alright, on to the bad. But first, our word from a sponsor. Just kidding, I'm too small. So if you could, go subscribe to my YouTube, Discord, and make sure to join my Twitter. I post way too much there. Much love. Alright, back to the bad parts of Starfield. Expectations were high of the game. Way too high. Most of these expectations were player created. Nothing they claimed to be in the game wasn't in there. But it doesn't mean that the expectations were created out of these ideas that they put out there in the world. Either was it with trailers or with what Todd Howard said. However, when people heard customizable spaceships or anything in space, 1,000 planets to discover, people took these ideas and amplified them 10,000 times. People were expecting No Man's Sky plus Star Citizen plus RPG, when realisticness is that the game was just an RPG, a Bethesda space-related RPG, not No Man's Sky, not Star Citizen. The game is not a space simulator. When you travel, everything is done through cutscenes. Want to land on a point of interest? Cutscene. Want to board or onboard? Cutscene. Want to travel to a different part of the system or another system? Cutscene. There is no option to manually land your ships or travel without light speed thrusters. But let me ask you, why would you? Why would you travel the whole damn galaxy for hours, even days, just to travel a galaxy? You don't have time for that. Everyone would just use light speed thrusters to travel the galaxy. It's unrealistic to expect these sort of features that nobody would use anyways. The game was advertised as a space RPG, and in every regard, Bethesda checked off every RPG aspect. As long as you didn't have unrealistic expectations coming into the game, you're going to be okay. It sucks to not be able to land your ship or take off, but it doesn't take away from what they're selling, the RPG. The frame rate of the game runs a bit slow on PC, but mods that add DLSS to help FPS are really good, really recommend them. And just like any Bethesda game, the game is amplified like 10 years later with all the mods that are going to come out 10 years from now. So, I don't know, if you're really into the modding scene, definitely get the game. Maybe later, for a sale, if you're not really desperate to play the game right now, but just know that this game is fully moddable, so we're going to really see where the future takes off with mods. Also, consoles are running the game quite fine from what I've been hearing, so I wouldn't really worry too much about it. Unfortunately, when it comes to the Game of the Year, the most important aspect is how clippable is it to the media? How likely is it to be presented to the average person that knows nothing about Starfield? The more media attention a game gets, the more likely it is to succeed. This is why a game such as Zelda, which starts incredibly strong already, won Game of the Year. Starfield was the last competitor this year. As much as I wanted Baldur's Gate to win, Zelda's most likely going to win the media, and Starfield is just not that guy. Starfield is already being rated around a high 8, but a few of these reviews know exactly what they're talking about, and they're a little bit mischievous about it. Reviews are incredibly flawed in gaming. A 10 means perfection. when that can't even really exist. 9 means amazing, memorable, you know, pretty good. 8 means, yeah, decent. 7 means, yeah, it is bad. Listen, it is a disastrous game. Even though 7 doesn't really sound that bad. And when IGN gives this game a 7, they're not really trying to say, because they were saying that it's a good game. It starts off badly, but it's a good game. But rating it a 7, that's what none of these people that are reading these reviews are thinking. If the game isn't a 9, it sucks. And that's exactly what the problem with a lot of these reviews are. Everybody's saying the game is good. It's fantastic. But they're still gonna rate it lower because of controversy. Personally, my little scale is a little bit harsher. I think all games, at best, average, should be a 5. Which, because that makes sense. 5 is average. So I think, so far, early impressions of the game is that the game is a 7. That's above average. It's good. Try it out. Love the game so far. So anyways, GG to Bethesda for creating the least buggiest Bethesda game we've ever seen. And like Todd Howard always says, it just works. Also, make sure to subscribe, folks. Check out my Twitter. I spend a copious amount of time there. Laters.